might actually help if the camera's recording. So I'm just doing some work on the base for the 25 pounder. At the moment, what I'm after doing is, I thought the camera was recording and it wasn't. I just ran my hobby blade around the edges to cut off any of the overlaps of clay and sand, just to tidy it up a bit. And now what I'm doing is, with a very thin down PVA, so it'd be like 20% PVA to 80% water, I'm just applying it all over the base. And this is going to seal down all the gravel, stop anything coming loose, and it just gives it a bit more durability when it comes to painting. Cause, I'm going to dry brush some certain elements, and I'm going to wash elements, so it's going to come to a lot of friction with brushes. And I find if you don't do this, you start knocking bits and pieces off. Now, you can put it on kind of thickly, because it's mostly water. It's going to evaporate and just leave the glue anyway. So, and you kind of want it to be sturdy as possible. So when I was talking to myself, not realising the camera was off, I was talking about diorama making. I know, like, this is more vignette base. It's not a dioramas per se, because there's not much going on in it. So I don't think, I'm just talking out of my hat, like, because I'm a keen diorama maker. I love making dioramas. Unfortunately, I lost a lot of my good ones that they've been damaged over the years, and one of the best ones I ever made was a Vietnam one, converted and scratch built train and figures of the Battle Away in 1960. Tet Offensive is 68 or 69. It's one of the other I can't remember. I used to be really good at Vietnam history. I can't remember correctly. I think it's 68, of the Marines, and I had them up on like a dike or a storm drain, and NVA and Viet Cong sappers trying to get under them. And I put still water in the gully to make it, give it like a little bit of ankle deep water, and it cracked, and it ruined the bloody model. If I can find pictures of it, I'll put them up on the channel. I was very proud of it. And then that was my biggest one I ever did. I put up on another site years ago. It was military modelling before I left it, because guys just started getting clicky and bitchy, and I wanted nothing to do with that. So, but when I do my Point to Hawk diorama later in the year for the ISM D-Day group build, and for the Typhoon and Panzer and Tiger group build, I'll do a series of videos on diorama making and see, do you find it useful? Because I'm not the best diorama maker out there, but I really enjoy them, and I do a lot of reading on trying to figure out what makes a good diorama. And from what I gather and from what I've learned, it's the story. So, things you want to consider is, what am I trying to convey? Am I trying to convey just a bunch of soldiers walking to the front line, which is grand? Like, that's a good place to begin. One of the nicest dioramas to begin with, just a few guys walking along the road. Do you know what I mean? That's a good, nice place to start. It's user friendly. So if you're a new modeler, that type of thing is good for a diorama, or a car, or guys. There's a lot of diorama in a box style kits out there, and a good place to look would be Masterbox. They do dioramas in boxes basically. So they do a series of figures, and they're all kind of interconnected in a very dramatic scene. I love some of their Pacific War stuff. It's amazing. For the bloody Atoll, which is Tarawa, 1943. So, they're a good place to begin if you're a beginner and you're not really comfortable converting models to make complex scenes. Is you get the same quality work, and it helps it boosts your confidence. So now there we go. That's that, completely coated. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna leave that dry, and that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to continue. I'm going to start priming the model. So I'm going to be back in a second. So we're going to be back, and I'm going to have the place set up for spraying. Back in a second, lads. And we're back. I'm just going to start undercoating. So I'm quite new to airbrushing. Only recently got an airbrush and a Harder and Steenbeck airbrush, Evolution CR Plus with a 0.4mm needle. I'll probably get a finer one in time. And I can't think of the name there. The compressor. It's the same one the Monster Lads has, and it was relatively cheap. So I'm going to give this a go. This is AK's primer. I don't know what it's going to do to my airbrush, but I might have to bloody I might have to probably clean the balls out of this now. Let me see what happens. Dang. Okay, hope this isn't toxic. Just like, no, that wouldn't be fun. Okay. I'm going to keep this over here so I don't dunk my brush into my drink. Okay. Of course I'm left-handed, so it's all bloody awkward. Because I don't want to have the camera too close to my work. So as I got the crew done, they want to get her quite nicely. Once they're primed, we'll have a proper look at them. So I'll start with them. A little bit of filling here and there, not too crazy. So this is my first time trying this now, so we'll... Sorry, I don't almost prefer just to just coat the entire bloody model in model colour like I normally use the base coat, but I just want to give this a go. It's a bit grainy, but yeah, so everything's falling over me today. Okay, so it's alright. I'm actually going to reach for my mask because I can actually smell that real plasticky smell. So I imagine this is like a unusual fucking primers. I heard a lot of them hitting these things with AK primers, and I think the black they were saying isn't a good colour, so we'll just see. I got some Vallejo stuff on order which has their own set of problems, but it's going to be crystal smooth. I can actually see a texture. I don't know. So if I sound muffled, I got a small mask on, which keep Norm Swinehound 227 happy, because he's rightly so. He's a good believer in model safety, because we do deal with some dangerous chemicals. Yeah, if you're using this wear a mask, I can actually smell the chemicals, so this shit ain't good for you boys. Well ventilated area. I don't have a ventilation system, but this shed is so bloody drafty and so spacious, I'm not really in any danger, and I have my mask on, so I'm not going to pass out or start tripping balls from fumes, like Mr. Cohen with the old Mr. Surfacer. Oh Jesus. Your best video, mate, because you could tell by how the video was going, you're getting more and more off his tits from the fucking fumes as it went. He was fine though, he was fine, he didn't die. Take a little bit more than that to stop good old Cone, I think. No, I'm not a fanboy. He's just a good mate of mine, and I enjoy his videos immensely. I know, I built it up too much, I think. Use the jet of air just to spread this along. That's my fault now. Because of the colour of this, it's a little bit hard to tell the plastic and the second. Now what I'm just doing is I've applied a bit too much, and I'm just hitting it with air, just trying to push it away from crevices, especially from his face. So okay, that's grand. That's the best one to do. Jesus. Trying to get these back in my right hand is a bit difficult. I used to be a brush painter. Well, I had to be a brush painter before I got the airbrush, obviously. But I was a brush painter predominantly, and I was kind of not even anti-airbrush, but very kind of intimidated. No, I always kind of believed to have an airbrush you need to be a master, you know, and like have a tripping man cave, you know. And well, I was lucky enough to build to afford one there a few months back, and I put a few euros aside, and I bought myself a decent airbrush, and yeah, it has made life a lot easier. Normally there would be models I would never be able to build as a brush painter because it would just be too much to paint. Like aircraft was a big no-no for me as a brush painter because I could never get my paint to sit particularly flush enough. Now I'm going to clean out this brush. I'm going to switch to my. I'll wipe him down. So yeah, thoughts is there's a bit of a rough texture on it. I probably won't be using this again. I was going to switch to the Flaho stuff. Though Flaho, be advised, the problem with Flaho is, as I've been warned by a lot of the lads, is that if you mask anything, it's so fragile you'll pull it. So what I recommend is if you're laying Flaho primer as a base coat, once you pull it down, give it a very thin coat of satin or gloss or matte varnish or something like that, just to seal it, and then you should be grand. That's just that's just a unique feature of Flaho, that sometimes it's such a fragile paint that you have to seal as you go. But do it lightly, of course. So you don't want to. Now I'm just doing a quick clean of the brush. Normally what I do is I put water through it first, just to take out the heavy shit, and then I put the cleaner through it then. And like I have Flaho cleaner at the moment. It should work because just polish the shit out of the model. I'll just take it down to make sure the nozzle and all that is clean, because I can imagine this stuff would be pretty rough on the innards of an airbrush. Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of this. It maybe like I'm spraying at about 15-16 psi, which is I prefer that speed because of this needle. This needle's designed for wide sprays and not fine stuff, but with a lower setting I can come in closer. Okay. I'm just going to take down the airbrush, clean it out, and we'll continue. I'll be back in a second, lads. Bye bye. Okay, and we're back. I'm switched out. I don't like the AK primer. It's trying to kill me. So I'm switched back to just Model Air, and it's just flat black. So I'm going to start by start spraying the model. Keeping the brush moving as quick as possible. I don't want to get too much overspray on the same thing. I'm going to go back through this individually as well. I just want to get a general spray. See, this way I won't waste that much paint. You see, if I miss the thing I'm aiming at, I hit the object to the left and right. Geez, the airbrush just makes life so much simpler. Where have you been all my life? So I'm just uploading my channel update as we speak. With my thoughts on the channel, where I'm at, and what's currently going on in the community. Obviously, there's been a bit of bitching and a bit of bullying, and I just kind of put my little 2 cents into it. I'm not really getting too deep into it, but just kind of reminding everyone that we're all on the same side. And I'm also running out of this, Jesus. Should have put in an extra order for black. Completely forgot my mind. I can also use model colour if I have that, just how the tin is a bit more. You know. So yeah. So yeah, I wasn't too happy to see what had happened, that's all, you know. I'm just kind of playing the role of the peacekeeper. I'm Irish, it's what we do, we peacekeep. I don't want to see anyone getting bullied or hurt, and that's the main element of it. So I'm just giving everything as a general quote. As you can see, there's a lot of ammunition. That's going to be a lot of fun bloody painting. It's going to also require a bit of careful masking to get the warheads and the fuses done right. Okay. So done. Ready to go. There you go. These pens are great. I'll put her. There's one thing I've noticed with airbrushes, it guzzles through your bloody paint. That's one thing I'm not used to. Now as I get better, I'll probably learn how to conserve paint at better rates, you know. But I don't know if there's any theatre goers or amongst the community. I'm not too big of a theatre goer, but I used to be in film college, so it's kind of a part of the parcel to take notice of what performing arts were doing, going for inspiration, basically steal their ideas. But I was listening to the radio there. Yes, I'm in my 20s and I listen to the radio like I am now. But they were talking. It was a particular show, and they discussed what's going on in various theatre groups and various plays going on stage and all that. But they mentioned one play. I thought it was a brilliant idea. It was I think it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's a bit like a what if, and it's about what if Romeo and Juliet had survived. So it's set like 10 or 15 years on that they stayed together and they didn't die and they bloody hate each other. So I imagine that'd be very fun. That'd make a brilliant movie, I think. Like, you know what I mean? It gives you a lot of room to bring up various topics about relationships and all that. And like, I'm a bit of an expert in relationships at this point, because my own has been pretty turbulent. You know, much to my friends' dismay and bemusement at some points and dismay at others. But that's just life, and you know, sometimes you find people we're fighting for. So, but I can only fight for so long, of course. So, I mean, even when you're fighting with cats and dogs, then they're still important to you, and you still don't want them on their own or hurt, or you know what I mean. So as you can see, I care too much, and so again, there's certain people in my life I very much care about, and I don't want to ever see them struck low. So that's wrong. I'll leave that dry now, because I can tell there's bits of build up. I'm not too pushed, and I'm running out of video, so I'm going to stop it there. Let's turn off that. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to talk to you all soon. I might continue again. I might not. We'll see. You'll know quickly if there's another part of this video. But just in case, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye. Look out for those buses and look after each other, please. Bye bye.